Coos, what in the world are you doing? I'm glad you asked. I'm just sitting here eating some turkey meat. Getting ready to tell you how West Virginia can beat the VPI Fighting Gobblers on Saturday. And what that matchup looks like. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner, your new go-to sports YouTube channel with a heavy dose of West Virginia Mountaineers. Before I get into today's topic, I want to give a shout out to a couple of my subscribers, VA Talent and Jay Hall. I appreciate your support. For the rest of you who haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that subscribe button. And if you like my content, smash that like button for me and leave some comments underneath. Let me know what you think about this weekend's game between West Virginia and Virginia Tech, which at one time went by their full name, Virginia Polytechnic Institute, and their name wasn't always the Hokies. It used to be the Fighting Gobblers, interestingly enough. That's where the turkey mascot comes from, for you young, uneducated whippersnappers. All right, let's break the game down. Number one, I'm so excited for this game. It's the biggest game of the year for me because I live in southern West Virginia. I'm an hour from Virginia Tech's campus. There's a lot of fans around, Virginia Tech fans in my area. And I don't like walking by somebody with a Virginia Tech shirt on, and I got my blue and gold on, and they just beat us. I don't like it. I like walking by, being able to stick my chest out, knowing my team brought home the victory, and that Black Diamond Trophy sitting in Morgantown, not in Blacksburg. Now let's get to what we're here for, and that's the game. This might be one of the most evenly matched games of the weekend. These two teams, as I started digging into this, man, now I know why Vegas only has a 2.5 point spread on this game. These two teams have a lot of similarities. They have similar weaknesses, similar strengths. I mean, it's uncanny, to be honest with you, when you look at the statistics and break things down. And as I get into this, you'll see where those similarities are and what I'm talking about. But I think it's going to be a very low-scoring defensive game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game, because the strength of both teams is their defense. So let's start there. Let's start with Virginia Tech's defense. They are led by a defensive end by the name of Amari Barno, who has 1.5 sacks already, 3.5 tackles for loss, and 6 tackles overall. They also have, they're also good in the defensive backfield. They have a gentleman by the name of Shamari Connor and another gentleman by the name of Jermaine Waller. And both of those guys are really dangerous. Jarrett Daigie's not careful, they will intercept his ball and run it in for a touchdown. He's got to be careful because those guys will turn you over. This defense has already intercepted 4 passes in the first 2 games of the season. So they will turn you over. So West Virginia has to protect the football. Daigie cannot make the same mistakes he made against Maryland, or Virginia Tech's defense will eat him alive. They're strong on the defensive line. Along with Barno, they've got some other guys who were NFL prospects. They will put pressure on the quarterback. So our West Virginia's offensive line is going to have to step up this week. And they're probably going to have to get a little bit of help from the running backs and the tight ends. And I really hope Michael Laughlin's back this week for the Mountaineers, because he could be a huge help in that with blocking and also in the passing game, as he's a good receiver as well. But it's going to be an all-hands-on-deck approach to block this defensive line from Virginia Tech. Now, for the Virginia Tech offense, they're led by quarterback Braxton Burmeister. Now, Burmeister's he doesn't throw the ball a whole lot. Tech's a run-first team, but he will hurt you with his feet. He's actually the team's leading rusher this season through the first 2 games. They've been using running back by committee so far since the graduation of their star Khalil Herbert. But Raheem Blackshear's been getting most of the carries. He's not averaging that many yards per carry, but he's also been very dangerous out of the backfield as a receiver, so that he can hurt you as much receiving the ball as he can running it. So West Virginia's defense is going to have to be on the lookout for that, and I'm sure they will. As a team, Tech only averages 3 yards a carry, so they're not a great running team, but they do like to run the ball. They like to use the clock up and try to put pressure on the defense. Their best receiver is Trey Turner. He's a deep threat. He's averaging over 16 yards a catch this year, so he can burn you deep. Now, Virginia Tech's biggest offensive threat, a gentleman by the name of James Mitchell, who's their star tight end and who's a highly touted NFL prospect. He actually injured his knee last week in the Middle Tennessee State game and is expected to be out for the season. I hate it for the kid. I hate to see kids get injured. I don't care who they play for. It's not the way you want your season to go. And he was a huge threat. He was actually third on their team in receiving last year with 435 yards. He also averaged over 16 yards a catch last year. Virginia, what's the keys to West Virginia winning this football game? Number one, they have to protect the football. Virginia Tech will turn you over. They will force turnovers. That's what they're good at. That's what they do. The Bud Foster influence is still there. 2, West Virginia can't commit penalties. Virginia Tech's only committed 5 penalties in 2 games. West Virginia had 6 in the LIU game alone. They got to be smart. Play disciplined football. Number 3, establish the run game. Put pressure on Tech's defense. Make them stay on the field. Wear them down. Get them tired. Also, if you establish that run, it will open up the passing game for Daggy, and he can go out and prove all of his haters wrong. But no, in all seriousness, establishing the run is extremely important. Our offensive line's got to step up this week. They've got to perform better than they performed the last 2 weeks. And like I said earlier, they might need a little assistance from the tight ends and the running backs. They need to block better as well. It's not all on the offensive line. Everybody needs to block better. Protect Daggy. We all know Daggy's not fleet of foot. He's not going to outrun anybody. So he needs to be able to stay in the pocket for 2 or 3 seconds to make his reads. So he's got to have some protection. And it might take some creative play calling from the staff. They might need to get some creative play calling so that they can get in some run situations to where they don't put as much pressure on their tackles, because the tackles have been struggling the most. Probably see a lot of inside run game this week because the strength of West Virginia's offensive line is the inside, the guards in the center. The advantages where I see West Virginia having the advantages in this game is up front. I think defensively up front. I think our defensive line is better than their offensive line because they've lost some starters from that group from last year. One of them being Doug Nestor, who's now on the West Virginia's team, who's a starting guard for us. But I think our defensive line will overpower them and make some noise, get in the backfield, create some havoc, force Burmeister out of the pocket, and hopefully force him into some mistakes. I think that's the key to this game defensively. We've got to put pressure on Burmeister, and we got to do it with our defensive line so that we don't have to blitz. Because if we have to blitz, it leaves that defensive backs vulnerable, and Trey Turner can burn us deep. We got to stay disciplined, get to the quarterback with 3 guys, maybe 4 at the most, so that we don't put our DBs on an island. Okay, that's my breakdown of the game. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my takes, whatever you think. My score prediction. I told you I'd give you a score prediction. My score prediction is the West Virginia Mountaineers 20, the Virginia Tech Hokies 17. Like I told you earlier, it's going to be a close, low-scoring affair. Don't think there's going to be a lot of offense because that's not the strength of either team. And I didn't mention this, but I also think special teams is going to be critical in this game. Winston Wright could be a factor in this game. We got to be clean special teams wise because Beamer Ball's still around in Blacksburg. They're solid on special teams. Always have been. Always probably will be. So we've got to be equally as solid, or hopefully better. Well, listen, I hope you like my content. Hope you like my video today. If you haven't, please subscribe. Please smash that like button. Hopefully the Mountaineers can catch them a gobbler on Saturday and have an early Thanksgiving dinner. I got a couple special guests coming on in the next few days, probably next week. There'll be a couple special guests. I'm going to do another Couz's Corner hangout session, a couple more of those. I really enjoy those. Hopefully you guys do as well. And in the meantime, peace out.